The budget-minded AM8. Is it any good? Let's find out. Hello and welcome back to Gears and Tech. We are starting to get a name as the microphone channel because in my relentless search for a very good microphone for this channel, I have reviewed a ton of microphones. Some of those microphones are on the table right beside me right here, and you may notice one thing. They're all from the FIFINE brand of microphones. Now that's not by accident, that's because FIFINE makes some mighty fine microphones. But when your budget is a little tight and you don't want to spend a lot of money, there are certain brands and options that you want to turn to. I've tested these two FIFINE mics in a different video. You've already seen the video with those mics, and a lot of the comments say that they're really happy with those microphones, which is in line with my impressions of the microphones as well. So when the folks at FIFINE reached out to me and asked if I would be interested in reviewing this, the AM8 microphone, I thought, sure, you know, we're about due for a budget microphone. Now, when I say budget, this one retails on Amazon for about $55. You can probably find some deals on these, but that's pretty budget. And with a cheap budget, you might expect that the microphone might not sound as good. We're gonna put it through its paces. We're gonna compare it to its bigger brothers and see if it's something that you would want to consider. One thing that I am not going to do in this video is to tell you which microphone to buy. We're strictly going to compare it to the others so that you can hear firsthand how it stacks up compared to those and decide if the audio qualities are what you're looking for. So for us to get to that step, we need to start with an unboxing. And I definitely have to say, I really am enjoying the packaging of this. I am kind of a sucker for a purple and white combo. I really like how those colors pop together. It has a soothing effect for me. So the packaging right off the bat is something that I'm gonna look at and say, I wanna see what this is all about. Gams Go. Are you paying too much for Netflix, Spotify, Disney Plus, Crunchyroll, Duolingo, Canva, or Adobe? GamsGo has you covered with premium shared subscriptions for a fraction of the price directly from the distributor. Yes, GamsGo is the shared premium experience that you've been looking for that saves a ton of money. I personally use GamsGo for my Netflix, my Spotify, my Disney Plus, and my Crunchyroll subscriptions, and I have saved tons of money by switching to GamsGo. This is truly an amazing deal. You don't want to miss it. Click the link down below to grab your deal. Going to the inside, we're going to find a manual, a weighted stand. It's got some good weight to it, which has a rubber pad on the bottom, so it's not going to slip around, which is great. Then we get our first glimpse at the microphone. Now, I don't want to say too much about it yet because I got to see what else is in here. I don't know what else is all in here. So it looks like it's just a USB cord and that's it. Now this is meant to be kind of a desktop microphone solution for those podcasters out there. So this is kind of the format that you're going to use it in, just like this, but it does support the mic arm as well. So we could thread this onto the mic arm if that's what we're looking for. I gotta say right off the bat, this color, I love it. I love the white and gray color. And if you saw me review this other mic here, you know that I fell in love with the white and the gray, and this is no different. I still love the white and the gray of this. The mic itself, if I take this stand off, it's not light, but it's not heavy. It feels like the bracket is actually the heaviest part of this microphone. It does have a capacitive touch button here that I believe is going to turn the RGB lights on, which, you know, already I know a lot of your ears just perked up and said, RGB? Yes, it has RGB. There's also two dials here. One is for the microphone gain and one is for the headphone feedback or monitor system, which we'll talk about as we come around to the back here. So your connection options are, and this is really important, you have a full proper sized XLR connection. So that allows you to expand your microphone with your system. I'll get into a little more depth about that in a moment. It also has a USB-C connection, which paired with this cable allows you to plug it directly into your computer and have a direct connection to all of your streaming softwares. But that's not where the features end. You see, the box down here says compatible with Windows, Mac, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5. Yes, all my streaming friends out there who have been looking for a way to get an extra good microphone for your streaming, live streaming direct from your PlayStation 5, this could be the microphone that you're looking for. Now on the front, it's got a fun little on-air light, which we'll explore exactly how that works in a moment. But that's the physical properties of the mic. If we pop the windsock off of here, you can see actually it's a really high quality metal mesh grill. It feels actually more like an aluminum than a metal. And it covers up the microphone, provides a lot of protection, but you're mostly gonna leave that windsock on there, just like that. Now there were two things that we talked about here, and I wanna make sure I cover them a little bit more clearly. So first off, we have the volume adjuster for the headphones. That's because there is a monitor port on here that will plug in a set of headphones, just like this, and that makes it so that while you're talking in here, you can actually hear live feedback of the audio coming off of the microphone. So if there's any kinds of audio issues, you'll know right away. It also adds total legitimacy and credibility for those of you who are trying to look like your favorite professional podcaster, because no podcast is complete without some monitors and good quality microphone, just like this. One thing I will point out is that the headphone port on here is a TRRS headphone jack. And normally that wouldn't be a problem, but as I found out in other reviews, when you plug in a headset that has TRRS with an included microphone, it does actually add to the sound on here. So it will actually pull the audio from the microphone on your headset and the audio on here. So it can create an awful echo because there's a slight delay in it, but you also can't strip that out in post. So if you are using headset monitors to listen to yourself, make sure that they do not have an included microphone. Like that gaming headset that I had the microphone when I did the review, and it botched the entire review. Many of you who watched that review called me out, and I actually had to go back and refilm the microphone test without the headset on because it had screwed up the entire video. Now, I also said the XLR port is really important, and that is more important than you think. You see, if you're looking at a budget microphone, probably it doesn't have that XLR connector, and probably initially you don't care. You're going to use the USB cord and you're going to be happy, and you might use the USB cord and be happy for the entire lifetime that you own this microphone. But at some point, you may be tempted to upgrade the audio on your channel or your stream or your podcast. And when you do, what you'll find out is most of the high-end audio products have this XLR port. That means you're running a sound mixer that then maybe goes to the computer, or maybe it stays standalone and records the track separately. That's okay if you have the XLR connector. If you don't, you're gonna have to throw your entire microphone in the garbage and get a different microphone that does support the XLR connector. So it's actually a really big deal that this microphone, being such a budget microphone, also gives you the options to upgrade in the future. So it's something to keep in mind when you're shopping for your budget microphone. The more expensive ones you should expect would have it anyway, but at some point you will hit a price point that does not include that XLR expandability, and you will be limiting your future options. That's all you need to know. Now, for those of you who really want to know the specs, I will run through them really quick so that you're aware of what they are. It's made out of ABS plastic, durable metal, and sturdy material. The signal to noise ratio is 80 decibels. It does work with your PC, laptop, desktop, mixer, sound card, audio interface. Also, as we discussed, PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 and Mac compatible. Number of channels is 1. It only records to 1 channel. Frequency range is from 50 Hertz to 16 kilohertz. Manufacturer obviously is FIFINE, and the model number is the AM8. Now, to many of you who are looking at your first microphone, a lot of that won't mean anything, and that's where the audio test comes into play. You see, if it sounds good, then it's good enough for you. There are many audiophiles that are going to hear that very basic distinguishing factor and say that we've totally missed the mark. And maybe we have. There's a ton of other features that you might want in a microphone, but in a budget class in around the $50, really you can't expect $300 microphone performance. So as you listen to this next part of the video, I want you, if you can, to throw some headphones on and listen to it, because that's where you're going to notice the biggest difference in audio quality. So I need to do a quick rearrangement of what I've got here so that we can get all of the audio samples recorded, and we'll play them all for you.
A few minutes later.
So now we've got the microphone set up. Now in the specs, we told you that these only do single channel recording, and my recording software only has the capability to record to one single channel for everything. So I've taken some liberties, and here is exactly what I've done so that you guys know how we're extracting audio separately for each separate microphone. On my end side right here, I have the FIFINE K688. Again, I've reviewed this in a different video. The audio you're hearing right now is from the K688. Over on this side, we have the FIFINE Tank 3. Now, the audio that you're hearing right now is the FIFINE Tank 3. And then in the middle, we have the FIFINE AM8, which is the whole point of this video. So now you've heard the audio from each 3 different microphones, and you're starting to form an opinion on which one you think is best. If the K688 sounds best to you, I'm still kind of in love with this microphone. It feels nice and I really like it. But if you think that sounds good for you, it is about the same price as the AM8. The biggest difference is there's no RGB. Also, it pretty much needs a boom arm of some sort, which means you have to buy an arm. Now, FIFINE make an arm, which is what we're using right here, but that's an additional cost. So for the whole package, you're going to be over $100. Whereas the AM8 comes with the handy stand and it's a full ready to go package. There's no extra parts to buy. Now we did talk about this RGB, and I want to push some buttons and do it. So right now it's blue. You can see I can toggle between. Now this is a multicolor fade RGB, and then we can go back to picking a color that we like. Now personally, for me, maybe purple. Now the thing is, if you pick the wrong color, you got to cycle all the way through. So I'm going to stick with the purple because that's the one that I like. And then on the front, we talked about this on air button. If I push this, it goes red. Now my audio software has no audio coming in because it has muted the microphone. So I have to use audio from one of these other 2 microphones to compensate for that. So I can turn that back on. And now this microphone is working again. Now these are directional microphones. So you'll notice that I have them all pointing at me. That's because that's how they sound the best. And you really want to get nice and close. I don't want to be this close because it's probably, oh yeah, it's peaking. If you are peaking and you got your monitor on, you can adjust that little dial there to turn it up and down as needed. Now on the far side here, we have the Tank 3. Now the price on this one is actually around $37. Now I know what you're thinking. Well, Anton, we just said $55 was the budget microphone. It turns out these microphones are actually cheaper. Well, keep in mind, this one also does not come with a stand of any sort. I'm actually using a different stand, which, you know, pay no attention to the brand there because I had it here and I needed some way to hold the microphone up, and this is the one that worked. But you will need a stand of some sort with this mic. Again, you can look at that boom arm, which will set you back another $40, $40 to $50, depending on the brand you get. The FIFINE one obviously works well with the FIFINE mics. So again, the package deal ends up being more expensive than this guy in the middle, the AM8. But as I've been going through this video so far, I've cycled through kind of the mic that I'm using so that you can compare which one you like and which one you maybe like less. So I'm going to do a direct side-by-side comparison now.
A few minutes later.
Now we are doing a direct side-by-side comparison of each of the 3 microphones. You want to pay close attention to the S's. Do the S sounds sound really clear, or are they distorted? Are they funny in any way? Also, you want to hear the P sounds. Does the P pop, or does it make the microphone pop in some way that the audio cuts out or is not as crisp or as clear? What you should be noticing is the tone of my voice should sound good. It should sound natural on its own without any post-processing required. Now we are doing a direct side-by-side comparison of each of the 3 microphones. You want to pay close attention to the S's. Do the S sounds sound really clear, Or are they distorted? Are they funny in any way? Also, you want to hear the P sounds. Does the P pop, or does it make the microphone pop in some way that the audio cuts out or is not as crisp or as clear? What you should be noticing is the tone of my voice should sound good. It should sound natural on its own without any post-processing required. Now we are doing a direct side-by-side comparison of each of the three microphones. You want to pay close attention to the S's. Do the S sounds sound really clear? Or are they distorted? Are they funny in any way? Also, you want to hear the P sounds. Does the P pop, or does it make the microphone pop in some way that the audio cuts out or is not as crisp or as clear? What you should be noticing is the tone of my voice should sound good. It should sound natural on its own without any post-processing required. Now, it's important to note that the audio for all of these microphones have not been altered in any way. We have adjusted for volume so that they're the same equal volume between the three, but we have not played with the sound profile so that you know exactly what you're getting with a natural audio recording before any filters or effects are applied. But that's really it for this segment. I want to know from you guys, what do you think of the reviewed microphone, and how do the others stack up for you? Post in the comments what you think. If any of these mics interest you, I will put a link in the description where you can pick up each of them, as well as this mic arm, and we'll see if maybe I have a new favorite microphone. Hey, thanks for watching all the way to the end of this video. We hope you enjoy the content in this video, and we'd love to have you come back. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And for those subscribers who are looking for that extra special thing that you can do to support this channel, consider joining our members group. That's where we're building this community, the Gears and Tech community, where we can all enjoy content together. You'll get special perks, which we'd love for you to check out by clicking the link down below. For those of you who are just happy to watch the video, that's okay too. You can check out some of our other content right over here, where we've got some previous videos that have already been uploaded and enjoyed by many of our viewers already. We do hope to see you again. This has been Gears and Tech. Have a great day.